Como santo pasado, eu falo com seus corações, eu canto com suas armas, eu amo como espírito grande que conduz a maneira. Eu ando como os antepassados, eu falo com seus corações, eu canto com suas armas, eu amo como espírito grande que conduz a maneira. Eu ando como os antepassados, eu falo com seus corações, eu canto com suas armas, eu amo como grande que conduz a maneira. Eu ando como os antepassados, eu falo com seus corações, eu canto com suas armas, eu amo como espírito grande que conduz a maneira.
changing. Do you have what it takes to change with it? Transform your future with an online degree from the University of Massachusetts Lowell, ranked by U.S. News and World Report as one of the best online degrees in the country.
Beloved, therapeutic dance. This is a therapeutic dance movement. What's up, family? Much love to you and yours. Gong Chi Gong. What? This is therapeutic dance. This is a therapeutic dance movement. They say you have to lose yourself to find yourself. And we do that in dance. We do that on the dance floor. We lose ourselves to find ourselves. Sometimes we take spirits and we let go. A lot of you young folks and even old folks go to like the old Elks Club, you know what I'm saying? Wherever you can to be able to let loose and dance. It's very therapeutic dance. This carbon-based body, that 666, they want you to be so afraid of, can be activated through certain things, right? Carbon, atoms, and neutrons. Is it protons? Neutrons, atoms, and carbon can be programmed. You're a computer. We take all kinds of programs. A lot of them tell us what we can't be. That's really funny. For computers that can be programmed. We're not stationary, right? Like we move around. Anyway. Through therapeutic dance or through dance in general, we can get rid of a lot of things. Or we can take in a lot of things. This music on the records, I did a talk a while back where we talked about records and the magic of records and how it's a very spiritual thing, the embedding. There's a lot of embedding that's going on with the music and how it spiritually penetrates through this carbon body that's mostly made of water. I had to switch gears there for a second. Into the science part. So our body, because it's mostly made of water and it's carbon, it's only science that noise and certain things affect it, you know, affect the computer, you know. Therapeutic dance is a way to dislodge some of those things that get stuck into your processing equipment, if you know what I mean, in your computer, in your car. So this is my Qigong, and it's a combination of different therapeutic, it's a combination of different healing modalities. Just so you know that I'm not just talking. Some of the ailments that I had, this is where the Regina's rabbit hole part comes in. I used to get attacked physically, and I didn't know what was wrong with me, right? This is the targeted individual part, the human trafficking part. Something be trying to slow you down, y'all. So, over the years, I had partial facial paralysis, traumatic brain injury, rheumatoid arthritis, osteo. I had, did I say partial brain? Post-traumatic brain injury, sciatica, which is extremely painful. And a lot of these, some of these ailments are just like, I learned are inflammatory. I learned that now. I learned that it was the food. I learned that it was stress. I learned that it was freaking the medications they were giving me to take care of the ish. I mean, it was just crazy. So anyway, I had to research all that to get my way out of that. So there I was, jacked up, 287 pounds, and I had all these different various ailments. And I was one of those, 287 pounds, and I was one of those people that you see in the little cart buggy thing when you go in the grocery store, you know. And I thought that it was over. I didn't know that our bodies could heal and repair itself if we did certain things or stayed away from certain things. You know, I didn't know that I had a choice for my computer, for this machine, right? So over a process of different layers, I found out for the majority what my problem was, and I found out some tools that I could do about it, you know? And I started developing those tools. There's different healing modalities that we use in the conscious community, and then just, you know, in the world of sacred healing arts. You know, there's Tantra, there's acupuncture, there's reflexology, there's sound and color, and there's light technology now, and frequency and color. They've advanced, you know, long distance healing, you know, through being able to use different sacred geometry and healing frequencies. There's people who understand how to heal. Okay, so look at it this way, right? There's the dark arts where people want a manifestation of some kind of demonic presence so that they can ask this thing to go and do whatever, okay? So, and that's what's got people so afraid, like these images and stuff that we've seen in the media that changed our interpretation of how we look at our own sacred arts and stuff, you know, and our brains. It changed the way that we looked at ourselves, okay? So a lot of us won't even do the stuff that we can do, simple like grounding and looking up at the sun, because they think that it's evil. That's some crazy stuff. So you'll go to the doctors and you'll take their medication that they lied to you, and like they're taking stuff, not all of them, I'm just saying though, that's just the way that they're trained. The system itself, okay, perpetrates a fraud, because we get a lot of the healing stuff from the fruits and vegetables and the water, from our activities and what we put in our bodies. That's even information. So if we're putting in the wrong information that we can't heal ourselves and that particular things are evil, that grounding and becoming a part of earth, then that's rejecting ourselves, because that's what we are part of. And so we indoctrinate these other ideas into our computer and they kill us because we don't appreciate what we're really made of in the true creator. That is the creator. And that's part of the problem. So there's a lot of things, separate things that we could be doing to heal ourselves that we're not doing. And those are the things that I started doing and started learning that allowed me to feel comfortable with, you know, the damage that facial paralysis did, or fixing the damage that I couldn't even bend over. I had a morphine pump implanted in my body and I had it removed, thank goodness, but there was a recuperation process. I was not able to, at 287 pounds, having had that thing removed and leaving all the pain medication behind, I didn't know what to do. And tell somebody that pretty much you have your yoga and a bottle of water, figure it out. Here's the internet and a bottle of yoga. I'll give you a tip. Do some yoga. Figure it out. You're like, so anyway, we figured it out. And that's what I'm sharing with you right now. Therapeutic dance. Dance is very therapeutic. And instead of going to the nightclub and listening to the programs that they give us, we can go into this other direction, right? So how can those people who are at church talking about these kind of things are evil, but they up in the nightclub drinking and whatnot, dancing, doing the latest whatever? That's our consciousness and unconsciousness. You know, that's cognitive dissonance. You know what I'm saying? So this kind of dancing heals, and this kind of dancing takes some study. It's not just the hoochie coochie and twerking. Like, where did twerking come from? Some people did that research, you know. What kind of combinations can you put together to heal yourself that you'll spend time learning? Will you spend time learning reflexology? Will you spend time learning yoga or deep body breathing? Will you spend time learning visualization to heal yourselves? Studying different cases of people that actually healed themselves through imagining. One woman healed herself by imagining a Pac-Man eating all the disease, the cancerous disease in her body. I know more now about healing my body than I did then. You know, I'm learning more now each day about foods and water and biochemistry, just adding it to my repertoire, you know, because I'm like a jack of all trades and a master of none being myself. You know what I'm saying? We're at point zero all the time, taking in all this information to be able to digest it and feed it back to the community. You know, what else would I do with it? But part of that plugging in is the appreciation. It's the consciousness, right? So another culture knew enough to appreciate what we had to be able to distort the way that we looked at it, the way that we ingested it, and even through the medication, we'll take it and put a whole bunch of other stuff in it and feed it back to us, like dandelion root. It's growing right out here, but we'll go buy it in the store and take it that's processed and put in the capsules, and you know, maybe they put some additives in it. They're adding yeast to some of the vitamins now. You know, that's real pretty when you go to cough all that stuff up and you're trying to repair your body. So we're learning a lot more now that we didn't know then. So there's always a place to start. You know, the time is now. I learned about this stick. This is an advancement of me walking with a cane. Okay? I walked with that cane because I was 287 pounds and I had arthritis and I had osteo and I couldn't hardly bend over, and I had that freaking pump removed and I was using that freaking cart in the store, And they had me all messed up, and I was believing in their medicine, and I was sitting in the church, and I had even quit drinking and going to the club, y'all, and it still wasn't working for me. I still wasn't getting the breakthrough that I needed. And I said my prayers, and I was on my knees, and I was furious at looking at how it seemed to be about money being the value, sum total of who somebody was, not their credibility or who they were or how they loved or interacted with people. It was just a mess. And I didn't like being around that or the way that it felt. And it was just adding on to the hypocrisy that I felt like I grew up with, looking at this whole system of things that we're in. You know what I'm saying? From the time I was a child, I was questioning things. Yo, why are you trying to do that to me? I'm only a child. You're an adult. I am not a grown woman, if you know what I'm saying. Read between the lines. So anyway, when it comes to healing, I had a long way to go. And this kind of stuff gets caught in our body. It gets caught in our body. That's how I started looking at the tantric system. How do I heal my body in the way that I look at my body, in the way I look at my femininity? So a lot of different things went into what I call my Qigong, Qigong. This is a therapeutic dance movement. I have a lot of different parts and components that I can share and teach you, like open the door or lead the way, like a directory. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about it. We can talk about ailments, and we can talk about food, and I'm like a directory system. Now, I'm not going to claim to know everything, but I will claim to point you in a direction where I feel like somebody knows about that particular arena. But I've been doing this for years within the conscious community, and it's real funny how if you don't, we're still just waking up. If you don't choose to indoctrinate certain images regarding the knowing one, you know what I'm saying? It's still a lot of that cockamamie stuff that goes on in the church where it's about image, you know? There's times when I can perpetrate the image, or I can put on the image where I just don't feel like, I'm just defiant with it. I just don't feel like it. And then there's times when I do it where I just don't want to get stuck there. I really need you to see me because I am you. What makes me so freaking special, right? Where I feel like that I'm tied into the community in general. I just feel like I have that kind of life and personality that there's so many different components, me and Regina's rabbit hole. That's why I call it Regina's rabbit hole. That I really think that you'll get it. That there's some way that we're going to connect to each other in the same way that I connect to a lot of the different arts and occult systems and personality stuff, you know, that I study. As a person in the conscious community looking at different parts of our culture that we feel are dysfunctional, that's one. As a woman within this community and us being conscious and revamping how we look at ourselves in this so-called new age, right? That's two. How do we look at ourselves as women? As a dynamic of the melanated community, that's a whole nother ball game. We weren't seeing ourselves in the targeted individual human trafficking community as if it wasn't happening, as if alien abduction doesn't happen, as if the stuff that's going on with that community that's dealing with black ops and let me see, Project Montauk, the Montauk Project, and you know, all that spooky stuff, you know what I'm saying, that we look at the television and we see it happening to a whole other cultural dynamic, and we're missing the point that it's happening to us, that we are relevant and we're a big part of it. Okay? That's another one. Okay? That we weren't, the knowledge and the stuff that's really going on wasn't even freaking reaching us. Like there was a desert, like a food desert in the ghetto or the bricks in the city. There is Oh, I'm gonna have to end this soon. There's a knowledge desert. Good day, family. Much love to you and yours. There is a knowledge desert within our community, and we're bridging the gap. Some of us, going and grabbing that stuff that they really did a job on us. These programs that we get our information from, telling us that we don't have the right to pull from the information that these other cultures are freaking leeching us dry. They're like sucking us dry from. These are ancient cultural remedies and systems that we're so afraid to look at. And so just like you look at money, where you could say, is money bad or is money good? Or is science good or is science bad? It's the intention of the individual. As long as your intention is to be in the process of being beneficial, then what's the problem? If you're not looking to mess anybody up and to get over on anybody, like what's been being done on a consistent basis, feeding off of the more unfortunate, more uninformed, more disenfranchised, those who are unable to fight back when they get got in the court systems and all that stuff. It's really been a free-for-all, but information really does change a lot of that. There's people dying of all kinds of ailments that they can easily heal themselves from, I'm finding out, and I found out. There's people who give up and haven't a clue as to what's going on within their community. Those are some of the ways, just some of the ways in which we relate to one another that I've been sitting here watching. Image. That thing I was talking about, image. Yeah, people love to tell you how beautiful you are on the outside, but it really sucks when you know you're beautiful on the inside and you have things that you want to share. But because people are brainwashed, you're not allowed to. And so the community is important because we're healing ourselves and stepping away from some of the stuff that was continuing to make us sick. All right, so this is that was therapeutic dance. This is some of the things that I wanted to say. You can catch me on YouTube at Regina's Rabbit Hole, Siren Buddha Safa Medicine, and that's why Spirit named me Siren Buddha Safa Medicine. I'm also an incest survivor. Also traditional woman who sees this weird thing going on. I mean, with the way our culture is now, excuse me, like it's odd because yes, you want the liberation and you want the freedom, and you realize that the platform that you're in, as far as being an American woman, and I'm so pleased to be able to have a voice, and you don't want to mess that up, because this platform is a platform really for many women around the world. And I'm just so pleased that we can still speak, that we have the opportunity to. So you want to be careful about what you say. I realize that I'm representing our sisters, so sometimes I was wanting to go off within my situation, and I don't, because that I know that there is a future road.
Good morning.
Good day, beloved. How are you?
All right.
I'm well. I know. Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. I know that we're paving the way for other women, because image and changing our image has been so important. So I appreciate the support of my sisters and my brothers. It means a lot to me with what we are doing, because we're like the floaters for this message. So if you don't like what I'm saying, family of the conscious community from many different realms of thought that accept me, I'm one of the ones who color outside the box. Like, I'm part of the conscious community, but whereas some of us stick within one framework of teaching or realm of thought, even within the conscious community, I am privileged to be able to move through a lot of different systems because they apply to me for various different reasons. Like, not just basically trying to confirm the different visions and messages that I get from our ancestors, and in order to maintain my own balance within this ascension process, had to go through these different gates. And so I'm aware of how it aligns to the individual, and that also I can help with. So please join me at Regina's Rabbit Hole, Siren Buddha Medicine, Siren for the stuff that we go through as women. Buddha, you know, there are many different types of Buddha, Bodhisattva. You can look that up in the learning and sharing what I learned. And in medicine, we've already talked about how medicine has been distorted, and some of the things that I went through in regards to medicine and healing are really some stories that I think will help us to relax a little bit in regards to our healing process, even in the way that we look at the psych community, you know, and the way that we look at our healers, and the way that we look at our thinkers and our artists, you know, kind of rewrite and revamp and redo the damage if we want to survive at all. It must be done. I know I'm thirsty for it, and I know you wouldn't be here if you weren't either. I see so many people in the different realms of new conscious thought, which is actually just our ancient systems, mixing it up and teaching us, and I'm grateful for you. Much love to you and yours. Thank you, family. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share on my channel. And I'd really appreciate it if you donate. It would help me to be able to shift what I'm doing into another direction where you can actually join me, or we could do something together, right? I could advance this. We could have more contact, okay? But that's for people who are really into this and want to do this kind of work, to advance this kind of thought for us, our new cultural awareness thing that we're all going through to help heal each other. All right. Mwah. I'm out.